Audiobook Academy Biography presents Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker was a mathematician, astronomer, almanac compiler, and writer who received his education primarily via self-study. Banneker's biography, who was he? For Benjamin Banneker, an abolitionist black farmer in Baltimore, astronomy and mathematics were subjects he learned on his own. A few years later, as the nation's capital was being built, he was enlisted to help with land surveying. In addition, he became a prolific almanac writer and corresponded with Thomas Jefferson, pressing him to do his part to secure racial equality in the United States. Childhood. On November 9, 1731, Banneker was born to Robert Banneke and Mary Banneke in Ellicott's Mills, Maryland. Mary was the daughter of Molly Welsh, a former indentured servant from England, and Banneke, a liberated slave from West Africa who claimed ancestry as a member of a West African tribal royal house. Slavery was not an issue for Benjamin because both of his parents were free. After his maternal grandmother taught him how to read for a brief while, he attended a small Quaker school for only a few months. The majority of Banneker's education was self-taught. In his early years, he designed and built an irrigation system for his family's farm, as well as a wooden clock that supposedly kept perfect time for more than 50 years until his death. Banneker also learned astronomy on his own and was able to predict solar and lunar eclipses with remarkable accuracy. After the death of his father, he managed his own farm for many years, building a business selling tobacco crops. Astronomy and surveying are two of my passions. Entrepreneurs from the Ellicott family, who had made a fortune in the 1770s by erecting a chain of grist mills in the Baltimore area, finally came across Banneker's talents and intelligence. Ellicott loaned Banneker a significant number of books on astronomy and other subjects from his extensive personal library. Banneker was employed by George Ellicott's cousin, Andrew Ellicott, in 1791 to assist in the surveying of territory for the new capital city of the United States. In the observatory tent, he recorded the motion of the stars using a zenith sector. While Ellicott employed Banneker for 3 months, he was forced to leave after developing an illness. Almanacs that are popular with the general public. Banneker's greatest fame, however, came from his 6-year run of almanacs, which he issued between 1792 and 1797. As well as astronomical calculations, his handbooks also contained essays, literary works, and medicinal data, the latter of which was especially beneficial to fishermen. Banneker also published information on bees and computed the 17-year locust cycle outside of his almanacs. Theodore Roosevelt's personal letter to the president. Banneker's contributions were not limited to the civil rights movement. Banneker regarded Jefferson, then Secretary of State, as someone who, while being a slaveholder, was willing to see African Americans as more than just property. Because of this, he wrote Jefferson a letter hoping that Jefferson would readily embrace any opportunity to remove that train of foolish and false thoughts and attitudes which so generally prevail with relation to us. Banneker supplied a handwritten almanac for 1792, which contained his astronomical calculations, in order to bolster his argument. Banneker admitted in his letter that he was a free man and of the African blood. Because of the nearly general prejudice and prepossession which is so prevalent in the world against individuals of my color, he realized that writing to Jefferson was a liberty he should not be taking. At the same time they were enslaving individuals like him while battling the British for their own independence. Banneker gently reminded Jefferson and other Americans of their own hypocrisy. Jefferson replied to Banneker's letter as soon as he received it. According to what he informed Banneker, he sent the almanac to the Secretary of the French Academy of Sciences, Monsieur de Condorcet, because I considered it as a document to which your whole color had a right for their vindication against the suspicions which have been entertained of them. In his 1793 almanac, Banneker included Jefferson's letter alongside the original. His outspokenness on slavery garnered him the backing of the abolitionist societies in Maryland and Pennsylvania, both of which helped him print his almanac. Jefferson wrote to Banneker on August 30, 1791, and the following is an excerpt from it that was provided by the Library of Congress. I thank you sincerely for your letter of the 19th instant and for the almanac it contained. Nobody wishes more than I do to see such proofs as you exhibit, that nature has given to our black brethren, talents equal to those of the other colors of men, and, that the appearance of a want of them is owing merely to the degraded condition of their existence both in Africa and America. I can add with truth that nobody wishes more ardently to see a good system commenced for raising the condition both of their body and mind to what it ought to be, as fast as the imbecility of their present existence, and other circumstance which cannot be neglected, will admit. I have taken the liberty of sending your almanac to Monsieur de Condorcet, Secretary of the Academy of Sciences at Paris, and member of the Philanthropic Society because I considered it as a document to which your whole color had a right for their justification against the doubts which have been entertained of them. I am with great esteem, sir, your most obed. Humble served. Th. Jefferson. Death and dying in later years. Never having found a wife, Banneker devoted the rest of his life to research. When his almanac's sales plummeted in 1797, he stopped publishing it. To make ends meet, he sold off part of his land to the Ellicotts and others in the coming years, while still living in his log cabin. Banneker passed away peacefully on October 9, 1806, 1 month shy of his 75th birthday, after taking his normal morning stroll. Banneker's nephew fulfilled his uncle's request by returning all of the objects that had been borrowed from George Ellicott, his next-door neighbor. Additionally, Banneker's astronomy notebook was included, which provides future historians with one of the few surviving documents of Banneker's personal life. Benjamin Banneker was laid to rest on Tuesday, October 11, in the family cemetery just a few yards from this residence. Attendants at his funeral were shocked to discover his house engulfed in flames. Even his personal possessions such as his furniture and a wooden clock were nearly all destroyed. An investigation into what caused the blaze was unsuccessful. An obituary published in the Federal Gazette of Philadelphia commemorated Banneker's life, which has since been the subject of numerous biographies over the last 2 centuries. A lot of folklore and misinformation has been spread about Banneker's life and career because of the little documents that have survived. The Life of Benjamin Banneker, the first African-American man of science, was published by researcher Silvio Abadini in 1972. In 1999, a new edition was published. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.